Okay, first grade, today we're going to be reviewing what we've been working on this week. We've been talking about sequencing. We've been working on our words, first, next, finally, after that. So we're going to review our story that we've read from our read aloud, The Runaway Pumpkin. Who can name some of the information from the story about the pumpkin in sequence if you can? Who remembers the first thing they said about the pumpkin? Sydney?
They were orange.
They said that it was orange. Anybody else? Dominic?
It was fine.
And it was fine. Anybody else? Josh?
It was big and round.
It was big and round. So, and then what happened once they found it? What did the boys do? Because it's round, what can a pumpkin do? Sydney?
Then they rolled it downhill.
They rolled it down the hill. Can you analyze what happened in the story and try to keep it in correct sequence? What happened at the beginning of the story? Follow what she just said. It rolled down the hill. Anybody else? What happened next? Sydney?
Then it crashed into a fence, and the mama there said they were going to her pumpkin pie.
And it was rolling down the hill, and Mama Baxter saw it and reminded her of pumpkin pie. What happened next in the story? Josh?
Grandpa Baxter thought it was pumpkin soup.
Grandpa Baxter saw it and it reminded him of pumpkin soup. Anything next? Dominic?
Papa actually saw it and made a pumpkin bread.
Papa Baxter saw it.
Made pumpkin bread.
Right, it reminded him of pumpkin bread. And what did he do?
He made a pumpkin bed.
He made a pumpkin bed for it. And did it go rolling any further?
No.
No. What happened after that? Remember, we're using our sequence words after that. Go ahead, Sydney.
After that, they squeezed it through the grandma's doors.
Good use of the sequence word. After that, they squeezed it through Grandma's doors. And what did she do when they got it in the kitchen? Josh?
She baked all kinds of different foods.
That's
pumpkin.
right. She baked all kinds of different things. What happened at the very end of the story? What is the last thing we see about the pumpkin? Sydney.
Then they turned it into a jack-o'-lantern.
Finally, they turn it into a jack-o'-lantern. I like the use of the finally. Very good sequence usage. Okay, can you critique the story? Do you think that this story could be is a nonfiction story or is it a fiction story? Can any of the information be real? Does anybody have an answer?
Some of it can.
Okay, some of it can. What are some things that would not be real from the story? Dominic?
It's too big.
It's too big? You don't think pumpkins are going to grow that big? Okay, anybody else have anything? Josh?
They made the door spread out bigger than it could.
That's right. They made the door spread out bigger than it could. Can we use our rakes and shovels to pull the door wider without breaking the entire house?
No.
No. Okay. In front of you, you have an orange paper. On the top of your orange paper with your pencil, I want you to write all about pumpkins, as I have up here on the board. Today we're going to make a book about what we've learned about our pumpkin from our story.
Can we begin?
Yes, go ahead.
Does it have to be in sequence
The writing?
of the book?
Yes, we'll get to that in just 1 second. I'm glad you're so eager to get to work. You guys are doing a great job on your handwriting. I can tell you've been working on it. When you're finished, put your pencil down. Okay, when you're finished, let's go to the bottom, and we need to know who's writing these papers. So we're going to put by and your name. Just like on mine, I put by Mrs. Marquardt. Very nice handwriting. Okay. Now I want you to flip your paper over to the other side where it's blank. We haven't written anything on this page. In the middle of it, I want you to use your pencil. I want you to make a circle. And you can just draw a real quick picture of a pumpkin, or you can just write the word pumpkin in there. I'm just going to make a quick picture of a pumpkin, give it some leaves. That's my pumpkin. You guys are doing a great job. Some with pumpkins, and some with just the word pumpkin, and some with both. Okay, now from this pumpkin, we're going to talk about some of the things that we just went over when we were recalling what we read from the story. Okay, so what is one of the first things that we said we remember from the story, what they talked about from the pumpkin? What did they say about the pumpkin? Sydney?
It was orange.
It was orange. So we know that the pumpkin is orange. Okay? I want you to go ahead and make that line out, and let's write that. Okay? Anybody have anything else? Dominic?
It's fine.
It was fine. When they say fine, what do you think that they mean, Dominic?
Soft.
It was soft, as in maybe smooth. Okay. Anybody else have anything? Josh?
It was round.
It was round. Okay. Anything else? Sydney?
It was big.
It was big. Did we learn anything else? Go ahead, Josh.
It rolled.
It rolls. Sid.
Grew on a vine.
Very good. It grows on a vine. Now, when did we learn that it grew on a vine? At the beginning of the story or at the end of the story?
To begin.
At the beginning. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put mine towards the top because that's when they told that. And I'm just going to write the word vine up here. Okay? Anybody else? Anything that we learned about the pumpkin kind of towards the middle of the story?
You can make pumpkin pie out of it.
We can make pumpkin pie. I'm just going to write the words pumpkin pie up here. Okay? Anything else? Go ahead, Sid.
Pumpkin soup.
We can make pumpkin soup. And let's get one more thing up here. What happened at the end of the story? Go ahead.
Pumpkin bread.
We can make pumpkin bread. And what about at the very end of the story? What else can it be turned into? Josh?
A jack-o'-lantern.
A jack-o'-lantern. Okay. Now real quick, I'm going to have you talk amongst yourselves and see if there's anything that you missed in the story that we might be able to add up there. Maybe about the vine or another word for the size. Go ahead and talk amongst yourselves and see if there's any other information that you can come up with. I'll give you just a couple of minutes.
Crash everything.
The vine is crinkly.
Okay, did you guys come